3 comments. Let's make it show up. Paula! Hi, Paula! So good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Okay. At 2:05, I'm just going to stop talking. Oh, somebody else is here. Please put something in the comments. Oh, Paula commented again. Please comment. Anyone who's here, please comment. Just say hello so I know who's here, because it doesn't tell me on the viewers. I wonder if it tells me on insights. No. Okay, great. Now I've completely messed things up. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and start with Writer Unedited Part 2. Sorry I changed the regular date from Thursday to Wednesday, but it turns out Thursdays are bad for me because travel, etc. So, as I said, this is an experiment in progress. If you got no other way, can see Skoda over there sleeping in the sunshine on his cat bed by the window. So he's joining us. Okay, so, oh dear. Sorry, my computer is talking to me. So here I am at my desk as usual. I do have on lipstick because I went to the doctor this morning, you know, just annual maintenance stuff. So put on lipstick. Other than that, it's just me. So I'm going to talk, 3 viewers. So come on guys, you have to comment and tell me who you are. Please just write hello or something. Mary Jane! Hi, Mary Jane! Yay! Who else? 4 viewers. There's a 4th person. Please put a comment in so that I know that you're here. And ignore all my silly cues, but it won't put through comments unless I comment. It's very weird. Okay, so I'm here. Skoda's here. You guys are here. So, I am writing I want to start writing, I should say, a prequel to Royal Kaleva Gabrielle. And I want to give it away for free. It'll just be like a little short story. Give it away for free to my newsletter subscribers and also to new newsletter subscribers. So I have a question for you. Does anybody have an idea of what they'd like to see in the prequel? What would you like to know before Royal Kaleva Gabrielle starts? So there are a few rules because writers always get stuck with these things. So it has to include both Gabrielle and Quinn in the prequel, but they can't meet because they don't meet until the beginning of the book, Royal Kaleva Gabrielle. So yeah, how to make your life difficult, right? So can you think of anything any scenes you'd like to see prior to the beginning of Royal Kaleva Gabrielle? If you do, either put it in the comments here or you can email me at nancy@nancyharkness.com. I would be extremely grateful if you do. So just let me know. All right, I'm going through here again. And if anyone has questions... Oh, Mary Jane, I'm so glad you liked my main photos. If anyone has questions, just put them in the comments, okay? Mary Jane, I'm glad you liked my main photos. Yeah, the trip was really fun. It was about 30 degrees cooler in Maine than it is here in New Jersey. I'm having like temperature shock since it was about 62 there and it's about 92 here. And it was incredibly foggy, as you know from seeing the pictures, but I did get to go kayaking twice. I loved kayak. There's something so lovely about being out on the water, being quiet, being so close to the water because, you know, you're down low, so you're sort of very close to the water, and we just paddled mostly along the shore. So, you know, we could see the birds and the wildlife and all that sort of thing. So we saw an osprey sitting on an osprey nest. That was cool. A huge great blue heron. I mean, great blue herons are big anyway, but that one was huge. And 2 bald eagles, and then, you know, lots of water birds, terns and cormorants and ducks and such things. I like birds. My father was a very enthusiastic bird watcher, so, oh dear, sorry. I should put my phone on mute. There, phone muted. Sorry about that. So yeah, that was really fun. And what else? Oh, the only problem was I didn't get to have just a whole lobster. I had a lobster roll, but that's not quite the same. I love lobster. I know not everybody does, but I do. So yeah, so Maine was lots of fun. Glad you enjoyed the pictures. So let's see. All right, I promised you artifacts, right? So in Royal Caleva Gabrielle, for those who have read it, you know that there are very large endemic lizards that live on the island of Caleva that are called Calevan dragons. And I put those in because I love dragons, but I don't write fantasy, so I've never actually been able to write a dragon into a book. And I hadn't really considered doing it for this book, but then my friend Elke, sorry so hard, sent me this postcard from the Jersey Zoo off the coast of England. And this is called, this little lizardy thing, it's called a plumed basilisk. And he looks like a dragon, doesn't he? And she actually said in the postcard, I know you love dragons, so I'm sending you one. And then she pointed out that there was no reason why I couldn't put a dragon in my new book since I was inventing a whole country. So I decided, because of this postcard, to put a dragon in my book. Now I decided to make him a frilled dragon, and I'm going to try and show you this little coin. This is a 2-cent coin from Australia that has a frilled dragon on it. Can you see him at all? It's kind of hard to see because he's very small. So I bought this for myself because I told you I buy little artifacts for my books when I decided to put frilled dragons in my book. Here is a better idea of what my frilled dragon looks like. This is the coat of arms I had designed for Royal Caleva. Can you see that now? So that's the frilled dragon, looking very fierce. They're actually, the frilled dragons in my book they're quite big, 3 to 4 to 5 feet. They're an endangered species. They're this beautiful sort of teal color, but they are vegetarians. They don't bite people, so they're not like Komodo dragons that are kind of dangerous. They're benign dragons, but fun. And then the other thing I bought myself because I thought it was pretty. Let me see if I can get this to show. This is a stone that's actually called dragon blood. And I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of sort of dark red right at the end there. But it does look kind of like dragon skin, don't you think? And it's like a worry stone, so I can, you really can't see the red. I'm sorry about that. Just a touch of red in it, which I guess is the dragon blood. So this is one of my talismans for my book. And dragon bloodstone is supposed to, let's see, what does it say? It enhances perception and personal power and dispels criticalness, enabling you to look objectively at your strengths and weaknesses. Always a good thing, right? Okay. And finally, I actually have a question to answer that Lisa asked me yesterday in the comments. She said, what level of celebration triggers the acquisition of another tiara? As you all know, I always buy a new tiara for every release day for my books, so they're generally release day tiaras. I do. So the next book won't be out until next year. As you know, I'm not a speedy writer, and I apologize for that. But, sorry, I want to see if there are more questions. Oh, good. So probably, but, yes, sorry. Back to my focus. Tiaras. When am I going to have another tiara? So I am going to release a novella that is a post Royal Caleva Gabrielle novella. It's already written. I'm in the process of editing it, and it will come out probably in October, and it's going to be free to all my newsletter subscribers. The only way to get it is if you're a newsletter subscriber. So make sure you subscribe to my newsletter, and I'll put the link in the comments below this video again. But you can always just go to my website, nancyharkness.com, and subscribe there, which is where the link will go. So maybe, just maybe, when that novella comes out, I will wear a new release day tiara, because it's always good to have an excuse to buy something sparkly, right? Okay, I'm going to read some comments because the comments are coming through. Vivi Stersta. Hi, Vivi. How are you? Vivi and I went to high school together. Can you believe it? Patricia. Patricia, so good to see you. So glad you love the book, Patricia. That makes me feel wonderful. Okay. And where are we? Vivi, because she went to high school with me, asks, who was your favorite English teacher at Shipley? We went to the Shipley School in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania for high school. My favorite English teacher was Mrs. Brown, Viv, because, I don't know, I just liked her. She was very calm. She was lovely. We had really good English teachers there. I was never a big fan of Mrs. Riley. She and I butted heads a lot because when Phoebe and I were co-editors of the literary magazine, The Compass, Mrs. Riley didn't like some of our selections that we put in. She felt we should censor them more. And Phoebe and I disagreed with her, so, so we argued a lot with Mrs. Riley. I think she was probably a very good teacher, but she had very strong opinions about what should be in a literary magazine, in a high school anyway. And Mrs. Kerr was, interesting, but a little, I don't know. She was fine. But I liked Mrs. Brown. She was warm. They were all good, I have to say. Anyone else have a question? Because, let's see. Nope, no more questions? Where's Gloria? Gloria said she had 3 questions for me. I'm missing her. So what else? Okay, just want to remind you, if you have ideas for what you'd like to see in a prequel, a short story prequel to Royal Kaleva Gabrielle, please let me know. And just put it in the comments or email me at nancy@nancyharkness.com. I'd love to hear from you. It's your chance to find out something, that you might not otherwise find out about the characters if you don't ask me, right? It won't be long. It'll just be a short story. So I hope to hear from you about that. And what else? I think that was pretty much it for me. Any more questions? Okay, Vivi, will you incorporate more idyllic male characters? What do you mean by idyllic? I'm not sure I understand the question. Can you expand on that? I try to make all my male characters idyllic. Because after all, we're writing romance, so we want them to be strong, dynamic, flawed, of course, but reachable. They have to have hearts so they can fall in love, of course. All right, I'm going to try and get the comments to come through again. It's so weird that they don't come through unless I type it. So, Vivi, not sure about idyllic. So in Royal Kaleva Gabrielle, there are quite a few male characters, secondary. Gabrielle, of course, is the hero of that book. But we have Raoul, the Crown Prince, who grew up, Gabrielle, and he grew up almost as brothers. We have Louis, the king, who has had a very hard time with love in the past. So he's an interesting person. We have Mikkel, who is the head of security for the king, has a very dark and mysterious past. So certainly possibilities there. We have Lorenzo, who is the king's brother and is currently in an unhappy marriage with Helen. So possibilities there. I don't know. So interesting question. How do you guys feel about a romance between a couple who's already married? I've seen it done in lots of romances. I think it can often work, but not everybody agrees with me. So let me know. Tell me what you think about that. Would that work for you? Maybe as a novella? Vivi asks, do you model any male characters after any man you have admired in your life? Oh, that's a really good question. I certainly take aspects of all my characters from people I have known, of course, and then I usually combine them in new ways so that they are never entirely one character. They're always an amalgam of multiple characters whom I have known. I will often test my characters against someone I know and think, would so-and-so actually say or do this? Is this authentic to this particular personality that I'm portraying? So probably I don't model them after a single character. I would say after a single person that I've known. I would say I model them after a combination of characters, of people, not characters, people. I model my characters on a combination of people I have known. Great question. Thank you. Okay, see if we have any more questions. Nope, not coming through. Okay. Anybody else? Anything else? Happy to talk longer if you want. All right. Well, that's it for today, guys. So lovely to see you. Thank you very much for stopping by. It is always a pleasure. I will be back here next week on Wednesday, which will be the 19th of July at 2 p.m., just like I was here. So I look forward to seeing you then. If you want to watch this video later, it will be on YouTube, and I will put a link in the comments below. Take care, everybody. Thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye. And now...